Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining me. And this week we're going to be talking about kefir whey and what to do when you have extra kefir whey, which you can get a lot of if you like to make kefir cheese. You're just going to wind up with a lot of whey. And because when you strain out the liquids out of the kefir, you get the whey goes into the bottom. And whey has been called liquid gold. It has been used throughout history to help with many diseases. In fact, Hippocrates and two of the founding fathers, Galen, he was another founding father of medicine, frequently recommended whey to their patients to heal them. Lactoferrin is a special protein in whey, and it acts as a very powerful antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory. And it also contains vitamins, a lot of B vitamins, B2 especially, a riboflavin, which helps the body to convert carbohydrates into fuel. Bovine serum albumin, which is an abundant in whey, is an amino acid that is an effective scavenger in the body. It removes toxic substances. It supports white blood cells. It helps maintain healthy cholesterol levels. And it's really important for the body to have a lot of these little scavengers. And whey is also rich in potassium, which can help balance and remove excess fluids in the body. Potassium is a wonderful thing for helping to remove water retention, but whey can also help remove toxins, which takes a great strain off of the kidneys because the kidneys are always filtering out toxins. And whey helps to gobble them up and eat them as a food source. And then there's less toxic substance in the body. And if you have extra kefir whey, then don't throw it out because I have a lot of ways that you can use it. I have 9 ways here. They're kind of unique that I think will help you if you have a lot of extra kefir whey. One of the things I want to talk to you about too is the nutritional information, the carbohydrates, fats, and proteins in kefir whey. And so here's what happens. When you make kefir cheese, you put kefir in a bowl and you put it inside of a strainer. And in that strainer, you line the strainer with a coffee filter. So you pour your kefir into that, and then the whey drips out to the bottom. And the whey has most of the carbs, and the cheese has most of the protein. So the breakdown goes like this. So this is based on 1 cup of fat-free milk. The whey contains 83% of the carbs and 3% of the fat and 14% of the protein. The whey liquid is carbohydrates in the form of lactose or milk sugars is what people call it. And in 1 cup serving of regular whey, it contains, this is just about an average, but this is for different types of milk are going to be different. But in 1 cup serving, whey contains 12.6 grams of carbs, and that accounts to about 3/4 of its roughly 67 calories. And the other calories are from fat, which is 0.9, and protein, which is 2.1. Now, the carbohydrates change a little bit through lactic acid fermentation. So as it ferments, those milk sugars get gobbled up by the bacteria, and it significantly lowers the carbohydrates depending on how long it's fermented. So kefir is about 1% sugar once it's fermented. So during the process of fermentation, the microorganisms such as bacteria and yeast convert organic compounds, which is the milk sugars and the starches, into small, tiny amounts of alcohol or acids, which is normal. I mean, you get that in yogurt, you get that in orange juice, that all happens. It's not like it's alcoholic. It's just part of the fermentation process, and it's very minimal. So, for example, the starches and sugars in milk kefir, cultured vegetables, and kombucha tea are converted to lactic acid. And this lactic acid acts as a natural preservative, and it keeps out pathogens and foodborne illnesses. And lactic acid is an organic molecule. Its chemical formula is, I think it's C3H6O3. And lactic acid has the same proportion of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen as carbohydrates. But here's the deal. It's technically not a carbohydrate. So when you have 1 cup of kefir cheese made with non-fat milk, has roughly 30 calories, 1 gram of fat, 3.5 grams of protein, and 1 or 2 carbohydrates. This can change based on the length of fermentation and type of milk you use. So you have some lactic acid calories in there, but it's very minimal because that's just what happens during fermentation. And so this can change based on, the type of milk you use. But kefir is generally considered 99% lactose free since the milk sugars are significantly reduced to about 1 to 3 cups per carb. And that's why you get a sour taste, because the milk sugars are gone and they're lowered through the lactic acid fermentation. And yes, there is lactic acid calories, but they're very minimal. And they don't really contribute a lot to calories, which is kind of interesting how that all works. But I just thought you'd know. So when you get a cup of kefir, you're not getting as many calories as you would in a cup of milk because fermentation reduces those milk sugars quite a bit. So here we have lots of different ways. I want to talk to you about lots of different ways to use your kefir whey, because don't throw it out. It's really good for you. It has a lot of benefits. Okay, so let's go to number 1. Number 1, the best way to use up a lot of your kefir whey is to add it to your smoothies for extra nutrients and extra probiotics. And kefir whey is so rich in B and C vitamins, and it has probiotics, which adds richness to your smoothie and makes it have a really filling taste to it. And I have over 25 kefir smoothie recipes on my website, and you can check out the article below and see all those recipes. Now, number 2, make cultured vegetables. A lot of people use the whey from kefir to culture their vegetables. And one of the most important things when you do that is to use freshly strained kefir whey to make your cultured vegetables. So let's say you're going to make some kefir cheese and you want to get some of the whey out to use cultured vegetables. Do it within a day or two of straining, because once that whey sits in the fridge, it's still good for a while. It's probably good for a couple of weeks, but you lose the probiotics in it that will allow you to culture your vegetables. And if the kefir whey gets too old, it won't successfully do that. And we have like 73 or 75 cultured, I think we have more than that. And I think we have over 80 cultured vegetable recipes where you can use kefir whey. And that's in all of the recipes. I link how much to use. And usually it's anywhere from, a quarter of a cup to a half a cup to make some cultured vegetables. And it's just a great way to use your kefir whey. Another way to use, this is number 3, is to use kefir whey as a stain remover. I've had several readers tell me that they use kefir whey to remove stains from their clothes because kefir has a lot of enzymes in it. So you can soak your clothes in a sink of warm water and a cup of kefir whey, and it helps to, not hot, but just a little bit warm, and it helps to break down the stains on your clothes. It works really very well, actually. And even just dabbing on some will help get rid of some of it, stains on your clothes that are kind of food related. It works really well. Number 4, kefir whey facial toner. And we have a recipe for this on how to do this. But kefir whey has a very soothing effect on skin when used as a facial toner. Kefir is loaded with nutrients for your skin, and it contains calcium, phosphorus, riboflavin, which is vitamin B2, iodine, vitamin B12, pantothenic acid, which is B5, zinc, potassium, proteins. And it has so many compounds in it. It's really refreshing for your skin too. And just put it in a little bottle, keep it in your fridge, spray it on your face. It's really good, especially if you've gotten sunburn. And it also just helps your skin stay healthy and young. Okay, number 5, lemon juice replacements. Use kefir whey instead of lemon juice in recipes. It works wonderfully well. So if you don't have lemons on hand, but you have a little kefir whey, it has that tangy flavor. So it works wonderfully well in recipes calling for lemon juice. But you'll get probiotics too if you don't heat the item that you're making. You can also put a splash in your drink, like iced tea, to give it a little extra flavor, give it a little kind of a tangy flavor. And it works really well with herbal teas too. Okay, number 6, make kefir soda. Kefir soda is the best way to use up your kefir whey. Oh, it's so good. And I did a whole, I think I did a podcast a few weeks ago about this. And you just really take like a fourth a cup of kefir whey, you add 2 cups of juice to a bottle and then 2 cups of water You let it sit on your counter, and you get this incredible, bubbly kefir soda drink that is so good. And then if you save a fourth a cup of that bottle that you've made, and then add more juice and water to it, it'll make the kefir soda within a day. We have a really good recipe for apple ginger kefir soda, and it's so good. You put a hunk of ginger in there, and ginger can work like medicine in the body. It's so good for you. And it makes a super bubbly it's basically apple juice and ginger and kefir whey. And I have the recipe, and I'll link that to below. If you go to the article, you'll see all these recipes. And it's so good, and it's so refreshing, and I love it. Like, I love to serve it around the holidays because it's bubbly, it tastes good, and it's fun to drink. It really is. Okay, number 7, pets love kefir whey. It's really good for them. Chickens, goats, and cats, they love it. Just even dogs, you can put a few spoonfuls in the bowl of water, decrease or add as your pet desires, but they love it. You don't need to give them straight kefir whey because it can be a little strong tasting, but just a few spoonfuls in their water will help them. It gives them a few probiotics. And I have a little article about a little silky Yorkie who loves his kefir whey. I'll show you if you go to the article, you'll see this little tiny Yorkie that loves kefir whey. It's pretty cute. And I also have a lot more information about probiotics for pets and cultured foods and how much they help them, because they work really significantly well on animals, almost faster than they work on humans. Animals thrive, especially kefir is one of the things that dogs and cats really thrive on. And it's something I give my animals every week. If they're not feeling well or something, I give them more. But I just gave my 2 dogs some kefir this morning. They were staring at me for breakfast like they were hungry. So they had eaten, but of course they do that because they know I'm sympathetic. But I'll just give them a little thing of kefir, and they love it. They like it, the milk kefir. But kefir whey is also another way to give them some probiotics too. Okay, number 8. We can do what we call a kefir whey shot. Just a little tiny shot glass of kefir whey. It has so many wonderful properties, healing properties actually. They talk about it in years gone by called the Whey cure, which was used throughout history. I said it before, frequently recommended by Hippocrates and Galen, those 2 founding fathers of medicine. And they often recommended this to their patients to heal them. And they referred to whey as the liquid gold. And it's just loaded with vitamins and minerals and probiotics and healing properties that really help people to stay healthy. And so I recommend checking that out. Okay, and now the last one is kefir whey lemonade. Guys, it's so good. I talked earlier about the apple ginger kefir whey lemonade, but this one is so good. It's kefir, lemons, honey, and whey, and it's a really refreshing drink for any time. It's really, really good for seasonal allergies because it has so much vitamin C in it. So it gives your body that boost, your adrenals that extra boost that you need, especially if you're struggling. Anytime you're struggling with seasonal allergies, anytime you can get a food that has high in vitamin C, and especially a drink because it's absorbed so quickly, it's wonderful. It gives you a ton of vitamins, but it gives you a lot of vitamin C and B vitamins is what your body's needing when it's struggling. And I really recommend it. It's super easy to make. It's super fun to make, and you can make it in less than a day once you get the first bottle made and just keep it in your fridge. It's really fun. Okay, now I also have 43 ways to make kefir cheese. Things you can make like dips and cheese balls, and oh my God, I got 43 ways to use it. So that will be in the article in the description below too, because if you're going to get some kefir whey, you're going to have a lot of cheese, and it's just so much fun to use kefir cheese to make so many different dips that I wanted to share those with you because I have so many and they're so good for you. And I also have an article called the Liquid Golden Kefir, the Whey, that's really interesting. That expounds even more on this subject because kefir whey is one of those things that is just kind of has a million uses, but a lot of people don't realize that it has so many uses. So I thought I would share that with you because it has so many, many health properties. So check out my article and check out all the recipes because we got all different kinds of recipes on way to use your kefir whey. And it can make a big difference just giving these little things to your family, including them in your life, in your diet, because it helps you. The thing about kefir is that kefir helps you age. It keeps you preserved. It keeps the food preserved, but it keeps you preserved when you eat it. So when you drink these types of food, it helps preserve you too. And it can make a huge difference. And even the founding fathers of medicine knew that, and that's why they recommended it to their patients so much. And sometimes we forget that food, I honestly think that food is the most powerful thing of all. It can work like medicine in the body, it can bring healing. It doesn't have the side effects. It doesn't work like drugs. It works like food to bring balance throughout the whole body. And that's what we're looking for. A lot of people are wanting to mask things just with a drug, but that's not long lasting many times. It doesn't always, it doesn't sustain us in a way to bring about health. And these types of foods can really bring about health. And all these articles and podcasts I do is to help you to understand ways to incorporate little things into your diet that can bring long-lasting health and wellness to your body. Because once you understand that, you're off and running. And you won't go back. You won't want to go back to living without them because they make such a difference in your life. And it's a wonderful way to do it. And I love to give people ideas. So those are some of my ideas. Check out the article. I hope that helps. And at the very least, make some kefir soda with some kefir whey. It's really fun and it's really delicious and you'll love it. And so I hope that helps. And we will see you next week. Thanks for listening, guys.